Welcome, and thank you for joining for another whiskey review. Today, we're going to take a look at the Weller Full Proof Dustin. Full proof means 57%?
It basically means it's the proof that they put the whiskey in the barrel. So as you know, in Kentucky, it's hot. Bourbon tends to gain proof. Not always, but usually. In Scotch world, it's the opposite. So what they've done is they've watered it back down to the full proof.
Of what it went into the cask at.
The barrel, yes.
Okay.
Thus, it is full proof, not cask strength. Seems like a lot of different words to confuse the heck out of any consumer who's drinking the whiskey. Maybe just me.
I tell you what, that's why I like an ABV.
Yeah.
We know what that is.
Exactly.
We know 57, pretty good ABV.
Yeah.
It's above that 50, which we like. So Weller Full Proof, these Wellers, a long time ago, I used to find all kinds of Wellers on the shelves back then. Red labels, different colored labels.
Yeah.
I don't ever see them anymore. Hardly ever see this Full Proof on the shelf.
I've never seen one on a shelf.
So here we are with another rare bourbon Dustin. Let's hope it lives up to all the trouble it takes to get one of these things.
Full disclosure, this is a pick. I will say that. That said, the majority of people I know who've had a full proof had a pick. So, yeah. That's just kind of I think people seem to be getting the picks more than the regular ones. Mm-hmm. I got this back in 2019 when they first came out, so we're finally bringing it to you guys. Took us a while.
Yeah, in kind of one of the higher proof regular release bourbons that we see around. After we did the Jack Daniels not long ago, so we're kind of kicking around the idea of doing a regular release, cask strength bourbons, or close to cask strength.
And we'll throw
bourbons.
this one in there because,
it's close
full
to
proof
cask strength.
sounds cask strength.
57 is cask strength number.
Exactly.
All right.
Barrel proof here in the bourbon world. We're Scotch guys first.
Sorry. All right, so a lot of things you normally get from bourbon. It's a little softer in this, a little soft caramel.
Yeah, a little more fruity. I'm getting a lot of the apple notes.
Yeah, apple. I was going to say that too, yeah. Soft apple, red apple.
Classic Buffalo Trace oak. Just clean, easy nosing, just sweet oak.
Yeah,
if that makes any
very
sense.
inviting, very malleable.
And this is non-chill filter, I'm fairly certain, on all full proofs, whereas the 107 is chill filtered, unless it's a pick and they chose to non-chill to filter it. Why that is a thing, I don't know.
I wouldn't have guessed on the nose this is such a high ABV.
No, it actually comes off very inviting, and it always has. I know you guys are saying this is very low, but I definitely know this whiskey isn't. If anything, this whiskey went from really good at the neck, kind of lost a little bit, and now it's kind of come back. So,
yeah, nice, fruity. Let's go along with that a little bit of caramel and toffee sweetness.
Simple, classic bourbon. It is a weeder, Mike, which is why it actually traditionally Buffalo Trace puts their bourbon in at 125, but weeders they put in lower because weeders tend to be better at a lower proof. Fun fact.
There's a grainy note to this.
Like Granny Smith apple, you're saying?
Grainy.
Oh, Granny.
Grainy note to this.
You said that, and I actually went back and I'm like, what that apple is actually Granny Smith.
I still think it's red, but yeah, we're kicking around the same notes.
There's a little bit of sour, but in a good way.
Not much.
Yeah, I mean, it's grain whiskey. It's corn. Yeah, going for that, Mike. But yeah, I mean, just classic bourbon here. Maybe even a little bit of a bubblegum note kind of in there. Very subtle. Nothing dark about this whiskey at all in terms of the nose. It's very light, bright, sweet, forward.
On the finish, instantly on the finish, it's dark chocolate pretty quick. Yeah, I would say initially when it hits the palate, it's initially pretty sweet, fruity. But the second you swallow and it hits the back of your tongue, it goes really quickly to dark chocolate, dark caramel, soft oak. Lingers probably, like caramel, toffee sweetness.
Yeah.
Strong delivery through the whole thing. The extra ABV, you can really kind of drive home the flavors to some degree. Again, very malleable.
Balanced. Mm-hmm. That is the thing I come right to with this whiskey. Up front, very nice sweetness. This is kind of that perfect balance of, for those of you who don't like older bourbon, because the oak starts getting a little too high for you, none of that here. Hopefully you guys can't hear the fireworks show outside, but apparently we're getting fireworks, Mike.
Always.
So yeah, there's a really nice kind of sweetness. Oak is here, but it's not overpowering. It's that clean Buffalo Trace. It's that very classic weeder, which kind of gives you, how do I put this? you get like corn husks sometimes on bourbon or corn nuts.
Silk, yeah, of it, like almost grilled or.
But when they
something
use
like
the
that.
wheat, it creates this softer but more grainy note, and that's coming through here.
Yeah, I tell you what, it doesn't matter if it's on the nose or on the palate. It comes off far softer than the 57%. Now, the palate's a little more revealing, especially with that hard core chocolate note that you get, that fiery chocolate. But
A little lower. I don't know that I get chocolate as much.
really,
You know, I mean, when you said it, I think there's a darker element here. I was just thinking more dark caramel, maybe getting in some toffee. I really didn't get chocolate here.
I did.
Now, I mean, I think there's always a little bit of chocolate in every whiskey, but as far as like a note I'd bring out,
Was for me. But yeah, I agree with most of what you said. Now with water, the only thing I could say it really added to is a little bit of a cherry note on the palate.
I was actually just looking for that because it's a classic Buffalo Trace note, and I'm not quite getting
Yeah,
it.
you always say that, but not on the nose, but with water on the palate, it'll be pretty recognizable, I would think.
Yeah, okay, I haven't tasted it yet. I'm getting a bit of a medicinal note that kind of turns into that cherry sometimes.
No, it's pretty heavy cherry with water on it now.
Yeah, so let's little taste.
That's pretty much all. It really kind of changed like a cherry chocolate chew or something like that, but it was shockingly cherry with the water.
Yeah,
Am I wrong?
it's like a I'm not a lozenge. It's some kind of like cherry chew. You're right.
Yeah. I've had it before. I'm struggling to exactly pinpoint it.
Yeah, no, really, really nice. Mm-hmm. Easy drinking. I mean, gosh,
The high ABV.
I can't really. I mean, it's spicy on the finish, but that's the alcohol. But it's also a little spicy, and Buffalo Trace tends to be, dare I say, boring. The spice on
can
this
be.
one, not boring at all. Actually, really nice finish.
Yeah, I would not call this whiskey boring. And for Wellers, this is probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, when this came out, I kind of rolled my eyes. I'm like, really? So you got a 107. Now you're gonna put out a 114. Seriously, guys.
Extra proof makes a lot of difference.
But again, just another whiskey, same price. It just felt like they were just trying to build up the hype and the BS. And then I tried this, and I gotta say, Mike, it's just substantially better than 107.
A little bit of proof makes all the difference.
Substantially, but I think there's more to it. I think, again, it's non-chill filtered. Mm-hmm. And, I do think, I know this is a pick, guys, but I've had 5 picks. There's been one really bad one. There's been one that stood out. All the rest, just been really solid, consistently in this ballpark. So I'm guessing the standard release is pretty dead on this. I still have actually never seen a standard release, Mike. I haven't even seen one.
Yeah, these are, again, I used to, 5 years ago, they were on the shelves all the time. You see nothing on the shelves anymore.
Yeah, you never even see the 12 anymore, and I know they make a lot of that.
Yeah, nothing. Anyway, those are our thoughts on the whiskey. We didn't give it a whiskey score?
Yeah, I'm going to...
So let's get that out. All right,
what do you want to do?
All right, so Dustin, as far as the whiskey score on this one, where are you at?
85. Mm-hmm. It's just lacking the elements that really kind of make bourbon better. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have the age for me. Again, if you aren't somebody who likes age, you might be 2 points, 3 points higher. For me, I just kind of find it a little lacks depth. There's just no depth.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty basic. As far as overall whiskey score, though, I'm at an 86. I'm going to save a tick higher from you. Again, I always like a higher ABV. It does a few things nice. Mm-hmm. It does a few things not well, but I wouldn't say off-putting. So, I mean, again, I'm not really worried so much, is it a classic Buffalo Trace or is it a classic bourbon? I'm worried so much, do I like it as far as smell and taste as far as the whiskey goes. 86.
Yeah. For me, I think where it's just lacking is my expectation for a good bourbon has more age notes to it than this. And this is coming off distinctly as younger. It's not a bad younger. And I think in the world of bourbon, this is becoming kind of the norm. Mm-hmm. I just refuse to acknowledge that's what is normal for bourbon. And when it comes to, compare this to scotches, it's young, relatively speaking, in taste. So 85, it's still a very good score. I really enjoy this. And I think, if I ever see another bottle for retail, I'm buying it in a second. I'd even pay $20 over retail. And that's where I stop.
All right, so those are our thoughts on the whiskey. If you guys had a chance to try one of these Weller Full Proofs, let us know what you think. And until next time, Dustin, what do we wish the folks?
Happy drinking.
We'll see you then.